Pablo Escobar grew up in Rio Negro, a small town nestled in the lush hills near Medellin, Colombia, surrounded by the beauty and hardship of rural life. Even as a child, he was restless, with dreams of becoming a millionaire and escaping poverty. His father worked long days as a farmer, toiling in the fields to provide for the family. His mother, a dedicated schoolteacher, instilled in him the value of education and hard work. Despite his humble beginnings, Pablo was fiercely determined and incredibly ambitious, always searching for a way to rise above his circumstances. He started with small-time scams like stealing and reselling tombstones from local cemeteries, showing his willingness to bend the rules early on. His criminal activities quickly escalated to smuggling as he realized there was far more money to be made. His ruthless nature, sharp mind, and natural leadership skills made him a force to be reckoned with in the criminal underworld. The rise of cocaine in the United States during the 1970s presented a massive, unprecedented opportunity for profit. Pablo seized this chance, orchestrating and controlling the entire cocaine production and smuggling process from Colombia to the US. He used every method imaginable, planes, submarines, and human mules, to move his product across borders and evade authorities. By the late 1970s, he had established the Medellin Cartel, transforming it into an international crime corporation with global reach. His philosophy was simple: plata o plomo, silver or lead, a chilling ultimatum for anyone who stood in his way. Take his bribe and live comfortably, or refuse and face his deadly wrath. This terrifying choice became the very foundation of his criminal empire, spreading fear throughout Colombia. Pablo's ambition and brutality would soon reshape Colombia's history, plunging the country into chaos and violence. He became the king of cocaine, both feared and revered, leaving a legacy that would haunt Colombia for generations. At his peak, Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel smuggled an astonishing 80% of the cocaine entering the United States, flooding American streets with the drug and fueling a nationwide epidemic. Escobar's wealth was staggering, estimated at $30 billion, a fortune that made him not just one of the world's richest men, but a figure whose financial power rivaled entire countries. The cartel spent thousands of dollars every single month just on rubber bands, needed to bundle the endless stacks of cash pouring in from drug sales. With so much money, they buried millions in barrels and hid it inside walls, often losing vast sums to rats, mold, and water damage. Sometimes entire fortunes simply rotted away. Escobar's operation was a global enterprise, smuggling up to 15 tons of cocaine every single day, using a vast network that spanned continents and oceans. Planes and submarines were considered disposable tools in his empire. If one was lost, another would quickly take its place, showing the scale and audacity of his logistics. In 1989, Forbes magazine listed Escobar as the 7th richest man in the world, a shocking fact that brought his criminal empire into the global spotlight. He owned lavish mansions, private islands, and even a personal zoo filled with exotic animals, living a life of unimaginable luxury and excess. Hacienda Napoles, his sprawling estate, became a symbol of his immense success and influence, a playground for the ultra-wealthy. The estate featured its own private airport, a bullring for entertainment, and even life-sized concrete dinosaurs, reflecting Escobar's eccentric tastes. At the entrance, he proudly displayed the very first plane he used for smuggling cocaine, a trophy of his criminal beginnings. Escobar's wealth and power were truly unmatched, protected by armies of bodyguards and rooms overflowing with cash. His criminal empire was more advanced than many governments, boasting high-tech security, private armies, and sophisticated communications. Yet behind the fortune and extravagance, Escobar's empire was built on a foundation of ruthless crime and violence, leaving a legacy of fear and bloodshed. In Medellin's barrios, Pablo Escobar was seen as a hero. He built neighborhoods, provided utilities, and sponsored sports teams. To the poor, he was a savior, offering what the government couldn't. His generosity bought loyalty and protection. However, his kindness masked a violent reality. His cartel killed thousands, including bombing an airliner. Escobar's charity was a tool for power. He was both a builder and a destroyer, a folk hero to some, a monster to others. By the early 1990s, Pablo Escobar was too powerful to ignore. His influence stretched far beyond Medellin, casting a shadow over all of Colombia, and even reaching international borders. The Colombian government, with US support, launched a massive manhunt, deploying thousands of soldiers, police and intelligence agents in a coordinated effort. The Search Block, an elite police unit, was formed specifically to capture him, trained and equipped for the dangerous mission ahead. Escobar responded with brutal violence, targeting politicians, judges, and anyone who stood in his way, unleashing a wave of terror across the country. Public opinion turned sharply against him after a series of high-profile assassinations and bombings shocked the nation. In 1991 he surrendered, but only on his own terms, constructing a luxurious prison, La Catedral, where he continued to run his empire from behind bars. When his criminal activities persisted, the government decided to move him to a real prison, fearing he was untouchable in La Catedral. Escobar escaped in dramatic fashion, vanishing into the night and becoming a fugitive once again. His empire began to crumble, and rivals like Los Pepes, a vigilante group, started hunting him relentlessly. Los Pepes, with covert support from some authorities, dismantled his network piece by piece, leaving Escobar increasingly isolated. Escobar was squeezed from all sides, with nowhere left to hide as the net tightened around him. His once mighty empire was reduced to ruins, his wealth and power slipping away with every passing day. The hunt intensified and his options dwindled rapidly as authorities closed in. The end was near for the king of cocaine, as the world watched the final chapter of his reign unfold. After a year on the run, Pablo Escobar was cornered. Hiding in a modest house, he was isolated and paranoid. His love for his family led to his downfall. Desperate to talk to his son, he made a fatal phone call. The Search Block tracked him down using American technology. On December 2, 1993, they surrounded his location. Escobar and his bodyguard attempted a rooftop escape. A chaotic gunfight ensued. The official story claims police killed him. He was hit in the leg, torso, and fatally in the ear. The most wanted man lay dead on a Medellin rooftop. However, mystery surrounds his death. His family insists he took his own life. The truth remains elusive, but his reign ended that day,